We're going infinite and modern. Basking Broodscale plus Blade of the Bloodchief. This is not Pauper. There's no sadistically, but we're still doing sweet combos. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. I would like to begin this video by thanking Maggie, aka RoboDragon, for today's donation deck. If you're interested in seeing your favorite combo deck featured here at the Epic Storm, you need to head over to theepicstorm.com/donation decks, fill out the form to get started, and that's exactly what Maggie did in order to showcase her favorite combo deck today, Mono Green Basking Broodscale Combo. What exactly is that? So you have Basking Broodscale, a 2-mana colorless creature that whenever a +1/+1 counter is added to it, you create an Eldrazi spawn token. Okay. Well, why is that good? Well, it combos with Blade of the Bloodchief. Whenever a creature dies, if it's equipped, you get a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This creates an infinite loop. We love those. So you get to make infinite colorless mana. With that infinite colorless mana, you can play Glaring Fleshraker. Whenever a creature enters, Glaring Fleshraker will deal 1, a colorless creature. And so that deals infinite damage. You also have Kozilek's Command or even Walking Ballista to deal infinite damage as well. So you have a ton of infinite damage outlets that once you assemble your Basking Broodscale combo, meaning that this deck is highly efficient because the B part of this combo, if your Basking Broodscale is the A, is colorless. So you get to be mono green. And then when most of your deck is colorless, you get to dig super deep with Ancient Stirrings and Malevolent Rumble. So it's efficient, it's cheap, and honestly, I think this deck is super powerful. I'm excited to play it today. I've never played it before, but I'm interested to take on the challenge. I do think that this is a pretty powerful combo deck. In the sideboard, we have Dismember and Veil of Summer. I like these. These cards are, fantastic. I would even consider a third Dismember for Collector Oof decks, and maybe another Veil of Summer for those Dimir Frogtide strategies. The cards I'm not so sure about are Thief of Existence. I could be wrong on this one. I've never played the deck before, but I'm just a little hesitant on believing that this is the correct choice. And I like the artifacts that are Urza Saga targets. So Tormod's Crypt, Pithing Needle, Soul Guide Lantern, all of those make sense to me. The cards I'm not so sure about are Damping Sphere, Defense Grid, and Soulless Jailer. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying that I don't like them as singletons because you have no way to tutor for them. Urza Saga only gets 1 mana value spells or 0, not 2. So you randomly have to dig for these using Ancient Stirrings and Malevolent Rumble. I'm not sure if that's consistent enough. I think that is the one weakness in Maggie's list, and I'm not completely sold on the Mirror Scrappling. Like, this could be like a Shadow Spear or something, but I'm willing to be wrong. I've never played this before. These are just my initial preliminary thoughts. We'll find out more as I play today, and hopefully you learn something with me. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Maggie, thank you once again, and I hope to see everyone in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match with Mono Green Basking Broodscale Combo. Alright, so we don't have either half of the combo here, but we do have an Urza Saga that could get half of the combo. You have 3 infinite mana outlets, so the only thing this hand really needs is the Basking Broodscale itself. And in the meantime, you do have a fair game plan. We'll keep this. We'll begin with a basic forest and pass the turn. Steam Vents, okay. Preordain, you've got it. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and they pass the turn. This would be a great spot to draw an Eldrazi Temple. Evolution Witness. We'll play Urza Saga, triggers, and Walking Ballista for 1. Pass the turn. So I think I want to play the Urza Saga game against a blue deck. If we were facing a non-blue deck, I'd probably slam the Glaring Fleshraker. I just don't know if I see the point in this current stage of the game. They find Basic Mountain and Unholy Heat. We will ping them for 1. Whoops, clicked on the wrong ability. Target you. So they go to 17. I get the Soul Cauldron. So that works well with Walking Ballista. I believe we I'm going to stay with the Urza Saga plan, rather than trading with the removal spells 1-for-1. Alright, they just play a Scalding Turn and pass here. We will create a construct, Cavern of Souls. So I do have to worry about being dead to Splintertwin, but I'm not going to respect that. Like, most lists play 4 of each half. If they just have, you know, Pestermite into Twin, cool, you've got it. And they Unholy Heat again. Alright, so we will create a construct. And now we can go grab our Blade of the Bloodchief. Play Cavern of Souls. I will name Eldrazi. Pass the turn. Oh, maybe I was supposed to equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. I wasn't thinking. That's my bad. That's my bad. We could have had a 3/3 creature. Whoops. I will try to not make that mistake again. Breeding Pool. They just play a land. Prismatic Vista. We'll play that. Let's fetch. And I think we just want the waste here. Let's equip the construct, which I should have done last turn. A Lightning Bolt. So ultimately wouldn't have mattered that much. We'll play Glaring Fleshraker. Pass the turn. They find Thundering Falls. Gets rid of Lorien Revealed. Hedge Maze. Okay. They put 1 card on top. Ancient Stirrings. Let's play that. We find Basking Broodscale. Okay, so now I can make a green Eldrazi mana and play the Broodscale. It's uncounterable, and I get to make a Scion. So if they don't have spot removal, they are dead. We will equip the Basking Broodscale. Sacrifice the spawn. This will trigger the this will trigger the Blade of the Bloodchief. That will then trigger the Basking Broodscale. And now we have the loop. So all you have to do is sacrifice this Eldrazi spawn over and over again. Sweet. So they're not responding. So we got game number 1. Boom! Easy peasy. Someone as bad as me can win. We'll bring in Spellskite versus the deck with tons of creature removal. We probably want a couple of copies of Veil of Summer. I don't think that this is a Needle matchup or Soul Guide Lantern matchup. I am interested in Defense Grid. That's 65 cards. I'm going to take on the Mere Scrappling. I just think that it's by far the worst card in the main deck, so let's get rid of that. So this next decision might be a little more contentious. So we have 12 ways to win the game once we have infinite mana. That seems like more than necessary in my opinion. I'm going to board out Walking Ballista because they're not a creature deck. Alternatively, you could board out like Mishra's Bauble or like a Springleaf Drum, Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but I'm not sure that any of these are better than like or worse than Walking Ballista. It's just I don't know what Ballista does well here. So we're going to board it out. I like Agatha's Soul Cauldron because we didn't see it, but there's a reasonable chance that there's Snapcaster Mage in their deck, and there is some value to be had there. You could also like proactively bring in Thief of Existence, but once again, I'm not sure if I like that. If they are twin, we want Dismember, but we didn't see any twin stuff. So I'm not sure if, I mean, like maybe that's better than the Soul Cauldron. We could bring in a few Dismembers. Let's try this. I'm not sure if this is even a good strategy, but it's an option we have. This is just the win. We'll keep. I mean, we need our opponent to not have spot removal, but, you know, we'll see what happens. They play Misty Rainforest. They took a mulligan, so they're down a card. We draw... That's the missing piece we needed. So we'll just play a Blade of the Bloodchief. Honestly, I was kind of hoping that got countered, but it didn't. They find a Hedge Maze. Ooh, they get rid of Splintertwin, so they are on Twin. Steam Vents. And they play a Tarmogoyf. I cannot win this turn cycle. I can put Basking Broodscale into play, but there's no way to equip it. So I think we're better off playing Rumble instead, looking for another land. They have 4 cards left in hand. Another Broodscale. Okay. I still think I want to find another land here. We'll play Rumble. And we do find a land. We will pass the turn. So I was hoping for a green land, if I'm being honest, because that would allow me to play Broodscale plus hold up Veil of Summer. That didn't happen. But having a second Basking Broodscale does change that math a little bit. They play a Steam Vents. Tarmogoyf is a 6/7. I made that card very large. They Unholy Heat. Yeah, we lose our spawn. And we'll take 6, going down to 14. Springleaf Drum. Okay. We'll play the Saga. So we drew our card that makes mana off of Saga. That's a little bit awkward. I think I'm going to play the Glaring Fleshraker. This is actually a spot where if I had the mirror in the deck, the whatever it's called, mirror scrappling, we'd be in a slightly better spot. Because I could grab it off of Saga next turn, and that could be my thing to try to win the game. Because I do need to create a spawn. And they have another Unholy Heat. They have 2 cards left in their hand. This Tarmogoyf is doing work. Now they cycle Lorien Revealed, so I know that they're down to 1 spell in hand. They find a Thundering Falls. So the Tarmogoyf becoming a 7/8 is actually pretty scary. Because if their last card in hand is a counterspell, we're in trouble. Alright, so we will draw. We draw another command. That is not what we needed. I'll float a mana, and now we'll search. I guess it's my first command. I don't know why I said another. So I can grab a Haywire Mite here as just a blocker. I'm not against that. And then we can play Springleaf Drum. Let's try Basking Broodscale. So they Spell Snare. If I Veil of Summer, I have to block with the Basking Broodscale. But I have to block with the Haywire Mite anyway. But this leaves me with an extra creature in play for next turn. So I think I am supposed to Veil of Summer. You had double counterspell? Okay. They got me. So we lose game number 2. I think we're just going to resubmit. I liked the configuration we submitted. I don't think I want the mirror scrappling. Like, I know that it could have been relevant there, but the Haywire Mite was fine. We're on the play for the 3rd game. This hand is something. We need a green mana. I think we'll keep it, though. We'll play Mishra's Bauble. Let's target them. Tarmogoyf. We'll play Eldrazi Temple. And a Blade of the Bloodchief. A Force of Negation. I am good with that, considering I have an Urza Saga. So we'll draw off the Bauble. We know that they're drawing into Tarmogoyf. They play Hedge Maze. Surveils away a Breeding Pool. Spellskite, that's a good one. Let's play the Boseiju. And let's play Spellskite. Pass the turn. So on my next turn, I can dismember the Tarmogoyf and Ancient Stirrings. That seems like a good turn for me. Okay. We find a Rumble. We'll play Saga. Tap the Saga. And let's dismember Tarmogoyf, paying 4 life. Alright, dismember on the stack. And I think we still want to Ancient Stirrings here and not Rumble. Because if they play another Tarmogoyf, I could kill it with dismember. We find Basking Broodscale. We'll take that. And any order for the last few. We'll pass the turn. They cycle a Lorien Revealed for a Steam Vents. Urza Saga goes to the 2nd chapter. I could just try for the Construct Beatdown plan and not play into counter spells. I think I might try that. Okay. On the end step, we will make a Construct. Draw. Drawing the Forest was good. We'll make another Construct. Let's go grab Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll play our Forest. Go to combat. Attack for 4. So we're trying to apply pressure so that way they can't hold open counter magic and they're forced to, give us a window, create an opportunity for us. That's what we're really looking to do here. Deceiver Exarch. We're going to redirect to Spellskite. Alright, so there's a little bit of Magic Online lag happening here. So I'm trying to deal with that. I don't know if it's working or not. Alright, it did look like that worked. I don't know if our opponent knows this, but if they try to slam Splintertwin, I'm going to put it on my Spellskite. So we'll see. They have 4 cards in hand. Glaring Fleshraker is the draw. We'll go to combat. Attack for 8. They're at 6. Let's try a Rumble. We'll grab another Urza Saga. Play the Saga. Pass the turn. They fetch for a Thundering Falls. Misty Rainforest. And our opponent just concedes the match. I'll take it. We're now 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. It is time for the second match. We're on the draw, and the only thing that this hand is missing is Blade of the Bloodchief. So I'm going to keep it. Our opponent leads off with a Sacred Foundry into Ragavan. And there's Urza Saga, which finds the Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll play Llanowar Reborn, because we do need a green mana at some point. They attack with the Ragavan, and they hit a Walking Ballista. I mean, that's a pretty reasonable card for them to cast here. They play Arena of Glory and Ajani. No, I'm not going to make their creature larger, thanks. We'll play Eldrazi Temple, pass the turn. So Saga was a little weird this game. If I had an untapped green, I think this would have played out a little differently. Like, you could have argued that I should have played Saga on the first turn, because then on the next turn I could combo off because I ended up drawing a green source, but I didn't know that was there. Goblin Bombardment. We will kill this Ragavan in response. So we'll exile a creature, and then I think I would like to make a Scion. Alright, so we're going to Kozilek's command plus create a Scion. They attack for 3, no blocks, I'll go to 15. And now they're going to use the Goblin Bombardment to kill my Eldrazi spawn. This will flip over the Ajani. And now they create a cat. Man, this Llanowar Reborn is very annoying. No. And now we'll take some damage. Elegant Parlor. Prevails away Galvanic Discharge. That's interesting. We draw Blade of the Bloodchief. Okay. Let's play Glaring Fleshraker. And I think I will graft onto this. Let's make our creature a 3/3. And then we'll play Blade of the Bloodchief. And then we'll sacrifice the Scion. And let's equip. That way our creature is a 4/4. I'm sorry, it's not a 4/4. For some reason, I was thinking it gave it an initial +1. That is not correct. They have Flage. That's annoying. So I do get a trigger from Blade of the Bloodchief. And they messed up because my creature is going to live now. Uh-oh. So are you going to have to fling your cat now? No, because flinging the cat would make my creature live. Uh-oh, I think you messed up, opponent. Yeah, our opponent has now realized it. They mentioned in chat. They'll make another cat. This will ping the Glaring Fleshraker. I believe it's to any target. Yeah, it is. Okay, just making sure. So this will kill the Glaring Fleshraker now. This Goblin Bombardment is an issue. So I can force them to sacrifice their cats. How good that is, I don't know. I could use the Soul Cauldron to eat the Flage. I can also just say they only have 2 cards. Like, what are the odds they get up to the escape cost next turn? Probably pretty low. I'm going to pass, and I think I'm just going to use Urza Saga this turn cycle. If they end up getting 2 Flage, I'm going to feel dumb, but it just doesn't feel likely to me. 5 other cards, and they kept the other card on top. They go to combat. We will make a construct. Go to blocks. We'll take 2 down to 9. Okay, so now we'll take 2 off the cat. They have 3 cards in hand. The fear is if they have like a Lightning Bolt or a Galvanic Discharge. Raven Charm on my Saga. That's not very nice. They play a land, so they have 1 unknown in hand. Okay. So I can play the Broodscale. The problem is I can't start the Infinite Combo. Well, I guess I could. Hold on, I guess I can. We'll go to 6. So I need them to not have anything. So we'll tap this. We'll Basking Broodscale. And now we'll equip the Blade of the Bloodchief. And now we'll adapt. They have Galvanic Discharge. We're probably dead to the Flage in the graveyard now. Actually, I'm just dead on board to the cats plus Ajani. Alright, so we lost game number 1. Bummer. Our hand was a little clunky that game. We'll bring in Spellskite. I'm not sure if this is a good Soul Cauldron matchup. Like, it hits Flage, but I'm not sure if that's really what the matchup is about. This does seem like a decent matchup for Thief of Existence, though, because it hits the Goblin Bombardment and it's just a 3/4. I don't hate that. Take out the Evolution Witness, maybe a Mishra's Bauble, and one Walking Ballista on the play. Yeah, this seems fine. We'll fetch for basic Forest and play Ancient Stirrings. It's either Walking Ballista or the Eldrazi Temple. I think it's Walking Ballista. So the reason that you would have considered the Eldrazi Temple is that it allows for a second turn Thief of Existence, but I'm not sure if that's a play we want to make anyway. They have Sacred Foundry into Ragavan. We draw the Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll play Urza's Saga. Let's play Walking Ballista. They're thinking here, do you want to attack into my Ballista? You do. I will block. Arena of Glory is their land for the turn. And Ajani. Okay. We draw Springleaf Drum. We'll play Boseiju. And I would like to rumble here. We find the Broodscale. Okay. Play Springleaf Drum. We'll make a green. So I could Stirrings or I can play the Blade. And I think the correct decision here is the Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll pass the turn. They play Ragavan for 1 mana. So they're going to respect my combo ability here. They'll attack, we'll take 3. They fetch with Arid Mesa. And another Ajani. So they're going to tap out. Okay. So this will give me a window. We left the mirror in the deck, so we should be fine. Even if they kill the Eldrazi Scion. And they do target the Eldrazi Scion. Alright, we have a moment to win here. Let's try to seize it. We'll draw another Basking Broodscale, tap for a colorless, and now we'll go grab the Mirror Scrappling, play Broodscale. We'll equip onto the Basking Broodscale, make a green mana, and now we'll sacrifice the Mirror to put a counter on the Basking Broodscale. So Mirror Scrappling looking very good here, and I wasn't so convinced that it was a playable card coming into this league, but my opinion might be changing. Okay, so we have infinite colorless mana and a super large Basking Broodscale. So I could play another Broodscale and get another infinitely large creature, or I can Ancient Stirrings looking for something that wins the game, and I think it's just the Ancient Stirrings line. So we'll play that. Walking Ballista, that'll do. And our opponent concedes to the Walking Ballista. Nice. Alright, so we're off to game number 3. I'm going to board down 1 Thief of Existence and bring back in the 4th Walking Ballista. Let's try this. Good hand. We will keep. No turn 1 Ragavan, please. Never lucky. Never lucky. 3 games in a row. Alright, so we'll play Basic Forest. Let's play Blade of the Bloodchief and pass the turn. Ragavan connects, they get a treasure token, and they hit my Blade of the Bloodchief. They have the Ajani again, 3 games in a row, Ragavan into Ajani. It's pretty powerful. And then they play the Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll play Cavern of Souls, we'll name Eldrazi. Walking Ballista, pass the turn. In response, I will kill the Ragavan. Okay, so their cat is going to eventually become equipped here. We're both dealing with some lag issues. Magic Online is just very slow right now. So now, Walking Ballista trigger should kill the Ragavan. And now their cat will become equipped. I'll take 3 going down to 15. And they pass. Mirror Scrappling. We'll play Grove of the Burn Willows. Let's just play Thief of Existence. And hit the Blade of the Bloodchief. So they'll draw a card here. But I don't want to have to deal with Blade of the Bloodchief the rest of the game, so here we go. Oh no, they don't draw a card until Thief of the Bloodchief. I'm sorry. Thief of Existence. I'm like combining cards names now. So they won't draw a card until this leaves the battlefield. It's a little better than I thought. I did read it before I did the deck tech, and then I guess I forgot. Thief of Existence. And the equipment is Blade of the Bloodchief. I will get the cards correct at some point, both the names and what they do. The Raven Charm. So this will kill my Thief of Existence. And they'll draw a card here. They have 5 cards in hand. I would like to draw my Basking Broodscale and the opponent tap out. I think that would be just delightful. They melt down for 1. That's not very nice. Okay, so we'll take 3. Kozilek's command. So I can get rid of the Ajani here. So we'll cast the Kozilek's command. And I think I'd like a few Scions. So target myself, exile the Ajani, pass the turn. They dash a Ragavan. We'll block Ragavan and take 2. We go to 9. They have 2 cards remaining. Fable of the Mirror. Okay. We draw another Blade of the Bloodchief. So if Ancient Stirrings... I think I end up short 1 mana here. We do find the Basking Broodscale. So I can play Blade of the Bloodchief, Basking Broodscale, but I end up being 1 mana short of equipping and winning. We'll play Walking Ballista for 1 and Mirror Scrappling. Pass the turn. So they draw, and now they go to the second chapter on Fable of the Mirror. They discard Ragavan and Arid Mesa. Goblin Bombardment. That is annoying. They play a land. They have 1 card left in their hand here. I mean, is there any downside of just going to 5? I guess if their last card is exactly Lightning Bolt. So we'll go to blocks. I'll block the cat token. So I'll go to 7. We draw another Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll play the Blade. Basking Broodscale. And now we'll equip to the Broodscale. So I can do something here. Is that something good? I don't know. So I can kill their cat, and then Broodscale would take 2. So then I could put my Mirror Scrappling on there, and then my Broodscale would live. So we're going to kill the cat. Oh, it's not going to live. I forgot about the sacking of the Goblin Bombardment. So is it even worth it to sacrifice the Scrappling? I don't think it is. Okay, that hurt. We will go to combat and attack. So you might be saying, why attack? Because I'm not blocking. Like, we might as well get 1 damage in here. They'll fetch with Arid Mesa. They search out another copy of Elegant Parlor. Guide of Souls to the Graveyard. Interesting. So they'll draw a card for turn, and then Fable of the Mirror transforms into Reflection of Kiki Jiki. They attack and create a treasure. We'll go to 5. Next turn, they can copy the Goblin, so I have to draw something good here. Oh, they drew Flage for turn. You gotta be kidding me. I'm just dead. I am just dead. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes that's how Magic works. Jeez. Tough game. So we lost match number 2. I mean, that was brutal. We would have drawn Kozilek's command too, which would have been very good, but not the way that the cards fell for us. So unfortunately, we are 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. We are back for the 3rd match and looking to get another win. So we're on the play. We have Urza Saga for our Blade of the Bloodchief. We have the Infinite Outlet. So this hand just needs to find Basking Broodscale. We will keep. We'll play Urza Saga and pass the turn. This way our Urza Saga, when it comes off suspend on turn 3, can go grab the Blade of the Bloodchief. They play Polluted Delta. And if they're on the Dimir Frogtide deck, I would have preferred holding the Urza Saga, but I don't know what they're playing. It will be a play pattern that I change in games 2 or 3 if they happen. We draw Boseiju. Saga goes to the second chapter. We'll play a Vista. Grab the basic forest. And let's play a Rumble. We'll take the Mishra's Bauble. Play it. Pass the turn. They search out Undercity Sewers and Archive Trap. So they're on mill. Interesting. So we do have Basking Broodscale in the graveyard, so if they have a Surgical Extraction, we probably lose this game. We'll bobble to see what their top card is. Another archive trap. Jeez Louise. Okay. We draw a Kozilek's command. They play a crab and a polluted delta. They find island. They mill some more cards, but no Basking Broodscale. So we still have 3 copies of Basking Broodscale in the deck. Visions of Beyond, they'll draw 3. That's terrifying. Draw for turn. We hit Broodscale. No way. Let's go. We'll grab Blade of the Bloodchief. Play Broodscale. What a lucky, lucky draw. Equip the Blade. And now we'll sacrifice. This triggers Blade of the Bloodchief. Turn 3, baby. Turn 3. Okay, so now we have the infinite mana. We'll play Glaring Fleshraker. Okay, and at this point we just have to finish pinging our opponent out from 18. This triggers the Glaring Fleshraker when the Eldrazi spawn comes back. And they just concede to save time. I appreciate that. Alright, so we probably want Veil of Summer. Maybe Dismember, I'm not sure. So Tormod's Crypt is interesting in the fact that you could crypt yourself in response to a surgical. I don't know if that's something we want to do, but it's an option. So that would be 65 cards. This probably isn't a Haywire Might matchup. I wonder if you're supposed to board out Rumbles, because it's bad to mill yourself, especially when they're a surgical deck. I think I'm down to try this. Alright, so we have the whole combo. The thing we're lacking is mana. I will keep. Watery Grave, tapped, good sign. I would like lands, please. That is not a land. We'll play Llanowar Reborn, Mishra's Bauble, bobble them. Polluted Delta. We draw, and it's the Soul Cleaver. So we're still short on lands. They play a Ruin Crab. No. Polluted Delta. Okay. No lands on the top 3. I believe my best draw would be an Eldrazi Temple. They fetch with Polluted Delta for an Undercity Sewers. It's 2 lands. That's a little disappointing. And they put a Swamp into the graveyard. We draw Dismember. I think we're supposed to just kill the crab here. Pass. Land number 3. Fractured Sanity. They pass. We'll go to draw. We missed on the land again. We'll play Blade of the Bloodchief. I took a risk this game. It's clearly not paying out. But I thought the hand was keepable. Visions of Beyond. Another Hedron Crab. They play a Swamp, which will trigger the crab. Mills over 2 more lands. Eldrazi Temple. Alright, let's play a Basking Broodscale. This will trigger the Broodscale, so now it creates a Scion. And they have a Fatal Push. Okay. So we get the Scion. I think we're supposed to just pass. They cycled Fractured Sanity instead of casting it. Mills over 2 more lands. Ruin Crab. Watery Grave. Still with 3 cards in their hand. 3 lands. Okay, there's only 15 cards left in our deck. We are in trouble. We draw another Kozilek's command. So I could play the Basking Broodscale here, but it doesn't actually help me that much. Because I can play it, but then I can't combo off. Like, I'm 1 mana short. So I think instead I'm going to exile a crap and draw a card. So Prismatic Vista is scary because if I take it, I'm dead to Archive Trap, but they can just hardcast Archive Trap on their turn. So I'm going to choose to keep it. I see 2 copies of Basic Forest in there, so I believe we still have 1 Basic Forest in the deck. We'll grab it, pass the turn. We need our opponent to just not have anything here. And they do have Archive Trap. We'll attempt a Veil of Summer. And they have another Archive Trap. Okay. Game 3. Maybe Spellskite because they have Fatal Push over Soul Cauldron. Let's try this. Yeah, this is great. Keep. We'll play first turn Urza Saga and pass the turn. On turn 2, we'll play Boseiju plus Basking Broodscale. And then our third turn, the Urza Saga will go to the 3rd chapter and we can grab Blade of the Bloodchief. They have an island. We draw another Walking Ballista. We'll play the Boseiju, and I'm just going to play the Broodscale here. If they have a Spell Snare, congratulations. We haven't seen one yet. I'm not going to play around it. Consign to memory. Okay. So now our Saga will go to Chapter 3. We'll grab Blade of the Bloodchief, play Urza Saga, Walking Ballista for 1, another Consign to Memory. Okay. They have 4 cards in their hand. They find an Undercity Sewers, and they kept a card on top. No Archive Trap on a turn where I searched with Urza Saga. So I wonder if maybe next turn I'm supposed to use the Prismatic Vista. Field of Ruin dismembers the draw. They allow Saga to go up to the next chapter. I'll just play another. Think we're making constructs. Alright, so in response to this Field of Ruin, we will in fact make a construct. Grab Basic Forest. Still no Archive Trap, so next turn I definitely want to use this Prismatic Vista. The reason I didn't play it last turn is if I fetch with Prismatic Vista, they could have used the Field of Ruin in response and I end up with no construct. I didn't want that. Kozilek's Command. We'll fetch. Let's grab Wastes. And we'll make another construct. Equip the new one. It doesn't really matter, but if they were going to kill one, they would kill the one that's attacking this turn. So they drew Archive Trap for turn. And now they're going to cycle the Fractured Sanity. Can my equip finally resolve, or what's going on here? After a long pause, our opponent is now going to Surgical Extraction Basking Broodscale. Okay. The infinite mana combo is no longer a choice for us, so we're all in on Construct Beatdown before they can deck me. They still have 3 cards in their hand. I will go to combat, swing for 3, so they'll take it, I assume. They could have a Fatal Push, but they'll go to 14. And they don't have anything here, so we'll draw another Blade of the Bloodchief. We'll create a construct, so now our constructs will become 4/4s. We'll grab a Mere Scrappling, another 5/5s. I could play Blade of the Bloodchief, or I could leave open Dismember. Let's play Blade of the Bloodchief. Swing for 12. Urkel's Recall. Admittedly, that was not a card I was expecting here. Yeah. That hurts. So now I have to try to kill them before they deck me. Shelldock Isle, so I'll mill 3 down to 22. Another Kozilek's Command is the draw. We'll attempt to dismember the Ruin Crab. We'll play Walking Ballista for 1. Pass the turn. They cycled Fractured Sanity, so now I'm down to 17 cards left in deck. Another Crab. They have 2 cards, plus the card underneath Shelldock Isle. So we're probably dead now. Like, they had a fetch land. So I'll go down to 11, plus their card in hand and the Shelldock Isle card. Like, it's unlikely I'm going to win this, because 13 damage is a lot that I would need to deal. And it was a Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So I have been decked. We will lose another match in a row, and we're now 1-2. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Alright, we're trying to bounce back in the 4th match. We're on the draw here. We have a hand that does not dig or have access to Basking Broodscale. But we do have our infinite payoffs and then double of the Bloodchief effect. I think we're supposed to send this one back. We will mulligan. This one is much better. We will keep, get rid of Glaring Fleshraker. And it looks like we're facing Amulet Titan, which you could have guessed by their username, Amulet Go. But it's a deck that does not interact all that well with what we're trying to do. So hopefully we're able to combo. Bobble them, and their top card is a Boreal Grazer. That is not what I want to see. That allows them to combo even faster. Another Amulet. So there is a chance we could be dead here. If they have access to Primeval Titan, we're dead. Here they go. Azusa. Okay. So Green Sun Zenith does it. They have 8 mana. This will bring them up to 12. Dryad. Alright, so there's one unknown, and their last card was Summoner's Pact. What a hand. Truly. We are super dead here. I'm not going to make them click through it, but wow. That was incredible. That was just something. Okay. We probably want the Damping Sphere. I don't think Dismember is all that great. But I do think Soul Cauldron's pretty terrible, so we'll board those out. Maybe a Dismember's better than the other Soul Cauldron. It's probably not a very good Evolution Witness matchup, so we'll bring in the other Dismember there. Let's try this. On the play for game number 2. We have the Damping Sphere. What we don't have is land number 2. We also have the combo. So I just need a spike a land. We'll try it. I'm choosing to believe in the heart of the cards. We do have a Mishra's Bauble. Opponent mulligans to 5. We'll start off on Saga. Play Mishra's Bauble. Look at their top card. It's an Amulet. And let's play the Soul Cleaver. We draw another Ancient Stirring, so not the land we needed. Okay, they have turn 1 Amulet off of Urza's Saga. And we missed on the land. Okay, we will begrudgingly pass the turn. They go to the second chapter. Another Amulet of Vigor. Am I dead? Okay, so they get to make 3 mana here. 2 colorless and then likely a green. A Dryad of the Elysian Grove. We missed on the land again. Tragic. So it's either Mishra's Bauble or Springleaf Drum. But I don't have any creatures for the drum, so I guess we'll just grab a Bauble. And their top card is Summoner's Pact. Yeah, this league is not going the way I wanted. Like, I think you're supposed to roll the dice on having your one sideboard option there. It just didn't work out our way. Okay, we're deterministically dead. So they go and get their Karoo land with Expedition Map. And now they have tons of mana here. They get to play the Simic Growth Chamber twice because of the Dryad of the Elysian Grove. So that brings them up to 8. Summoner's Pact gets them the Titan. And then I lose the game. And yeah. Okay, I'm good to just concede. That was brutal. I'm sorry that was not a very entertaining match, but there's still one left to go. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. The final round, we're trying to get back half my play points. We're on the play. Sure, we'll try this. Prismatic Vista, we'll go search out a basic forest. Play Springleaf Drum. Pass the turn. Blackleaf Cliffs into Nethergoyf. Okay, so a matchup where the opponent has a lot of removal. In our upkeep, they use the Bauble. We draw another Prismatic Vista. Let's search another basic land out of the deck. We'll grab the basic Wastes. We'll play Walking Ballista. And then let's play the Ballista, or tap the Ballista, and we'll play Blade of the Bloodchief. Pass the turn. They'll draw a card off the Mishra's Bauble. Another copy of Mishra's Bauble. Raucous Theater. And they kept the card on top. They swing for 1, we'll take it, we go to 17. They'll draw off the Mishra's Bauble. Kozilek's Command. Not a bad one. We'll play Ancient Stirrings. I think I want the Walking Ballista. And we'll pass the turn. Wooded Foothills. Into a Dragon's Rage Channeler. No blocks. Oh, I just realized that I can't Kozilek's Command. I should have equipped. Whoops. Glaring Fleshraker. That's my bad. Grab the Forest. Walking Ballista for 2. We'll equip Walking Ballista. So they'll need a removal spell here if they want to stop my Blade of the Bloodchief plus Walking Ballista synergies. And they do have one. We will ping the Channeler in response. Okay. They get to Surveil. They put a mountain to the graveyard. They search out Raucous Theater and Faithless Looting. Okay. Their Nethergoyf is now a 5/6. They cycle Street Wraith. Detective's Phoenix. Are you just Hollow One? Wasn't expecting this to be Hollow One. Also, what I would do to just draw a colorless land. I could play this Kozilek's Command. And another Phoenix. So this is 8 damage that I have to take here. So we either have to draw something incredibly good here or else I lose. And the verdict is Basking Broodscale. I've heard that card is good. Let's play it. I would have settled for a colorless land, but instead we get to win the game. Equip the Broodscale, and our opponent concedes. Okay, game number 2. We probably want Dismember. Could be a Spellskite matchup. Take out Evolution Witness. I like the Agatha Soul Cauldron, so I don't want to take that out. I do think Walking Ballista is a little bit weak. We'll shave those. And the Haywire Might. I don't think that there's anything we care about regarding Haywire Might. Like, you can't kill a hollow one with it. So, I don't see a whole lot of value to be had there. And it's not like we're a deck that cares about Leyline of the Void. Game number 2, we're on the draw. I am easily going to keep this hand. Our opponent plays Blood Crypt into Dragon's Rage Channeler. Mishra's Bauble, you've got it. This is one of the better hands we've drawn today. This is a turn 3 win if undisrupted. We'll play the Urza Saga and Blade of the Bloodchief. Pass. So they'll draw off Mishra's Bauble. They play Bloodstained Mire, move to combat. Ouch. Another Urza Saga is the draw. We'll use Prismatic Vista. Let's go grab a basic forest. And then we will play Malevolent Rumble. The lag right now is really bad. I am fairly thankful that this league is almost over. There we go, it's on the stack. We'll take the Soul Cauldron and then pass the turn. Hopefully the Soul Cauldron incentivizes our opponent to start doing things, so that way it creates a window where we can combo off next turn. They use the Bloodstained Mire. Grabs a Blood Crypt untapped. Orcish Bowmasters. This will kill my Eldrazi spawn, which is a little annoying because now I no longer have a turn 3. Fear of missing out. They surveil away a Burning Inquiry. Are you also Splintertwin? Are you like trying to fit that in there? Like, I know that some lists play Fear of missing out without the twin combo, but I don't know. Oh, I didn't tap the Saga. Whoops. That's bad. We'll grab Springleaf Drum. That was an accident. We'll play the Spellskite. Yeah, that just cost me because now I can't play 2 spells this turn. I clicked too fast. They're going to fetch in response for a Lightning Bolt. Sure. I guess I could have equipped my Spellskite. I don't know. Then I don't have it to block. Burning Inquiry. Hope I get to keep my Brood Scale. I do not. That's annoying. Ay. And another Burning Inquiry. I think I'm supposed to dismember the Orc here. But if I do that, I go to 5 and I'm dead. So I'm actually just dead no matter what. So we can concede. I'm going to just resubmit. I could bring in Veil of Summer. Like, I know that these decks play Thoughtseize, but the reality is they only play 4. Like, 4 discard spells total. And the odds that you have Veil of Summer and they have a Thoughtseize are just, like, kind of low. And I don't feel like it does a whole lot otherwise. So I'm choosing to not bring it in. This is great. We will keep Prismatic Vista. We'll play Mishra's Bauble. Look at our top card to see if it's a land. It is not a land, so we will fetch. Grab a forest. Ancient Stirrings. We'll take Urza's Saga. Pass the turn. We draw off the Bauble. Alright, come on, Magic Online, you can do it. Another Bauble. Bloodstained Mire. For a Blood Crypt. Thoughtseize. So, yeah, they get to break up our combo here. The correct piece to take is the Basking Broodscale, because Urza Saga gets another Blade of the Bloodchief, and our opponent agrees. Cavern of Souls. We'll play Mishra's Bauble. Look at their top card. Hollow one. We'll play the Saga for turn, and let's play a Rumble. We'll take Glaring Fleshraker, I think. Pass the turn. The draw off Bauble is Eldrazi Temple, which is actually pretty good when we have Glaring Fleshraker in hand. They play a Faithless Looting. This gives them 2 cards discarded towards the hollow one. They know that I have Dismember. So if they just go pay 1 mana into hollow one, they know that I have this. They discard Fear of Missing Out and a Bauble. And they do play the hollow one. Okay. Urza Saga will go to the second chapter. We draw a Kozilek's Command. We'll play the Glaring Fleshraker. Play Blade of the Bloodchief. This will trigger the Glaring Fleshraker. We will equip onto the Glaring Fleshraker. Sacrifice. So now the Fleshraker gets a little bit bigger. And then we'll dismember the hollow one. And now the Fleshraker is a 4/4. Pass the turn. And they just passed. No plays. There's a Saga. Let's make a construct. Fleshraker will trigger. We'll grab a Mere Scrappling. This will trigger the Glaring Fleshraker again. Play another copy of Urza's Saga. Go to combat. Swing for 4. Opponent goes to 8. End step Orcish Bowmasters. They target me. Sure. Faithless Looting. They discarded a Fear of Missing Out and a Dragon's Rage Channeler. They have 3 cards remaining in their hand. They don't do anything, so it could be another Orcish Bowmasters or like spot removal. Another Glaring Fleshraker. We'll play Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi. We'll play Glaring Fleshraker. This will trigger the Glaring Fleshraker, so they'll take 1 down to 7. Creates an Eldrazi spawn. They go to 6. We'll sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn. This triggers Blade of the Bloodchief. And I'm going to cast Kozilek's command for 1. We'll create a 1/1 and exile the... You know what? I'll draw a card. It's fine. We'll target ourselves twice and Kozilek's command. So we'll get to create 2 Scions here. Another Orcish Bowmasters. They ping Glaring Fleshraker. So Fleshraker's pings, they're at 2. And now the K command. We'll put Cavern of Souls on the bottom. We'll draw a card. And now there's pings from both Bowmasters. And they lose. So we did go 2 and 3. I don't think that this deck is as bad as it looked. In fact, I think this deck is pretty good. Maggie, thank you again for your donation deck, but I do have a few small criticisms. I think after playing, I'd probably leave in the Mere Scrappling. My initial take on this card was wrong. I still think one of each of these cards is a little bit odd. I'm not sold on Thief of Existence still, but I think the big feedback that I have for you is that your deck is too mana hungry. I think that it needs more mana, and the mana that I would add is Mox Opal. I think this deck desperately needs it. It works well with Urza's Saga because it helps you create constructs, but also it's a card you could search out to make mana, which is something I really wanted throughout this entire league. And then I think cards like Agatha's Soul Cauldron, those should probably be in the sideboard. I probably wouldn't play the Evolution Witness. And then I think that 4 copies of Walking Ballista is probably too many. You like between Kozilek's command and Glaring Fleshraker, you have 8 cards that win the game with your Basking Broodscale. I think you can get away with like 10 to 11 effects. So I'd probably cut like 1 to 2 copies of Walking Ballista. And those could be Mox Opal slots. I might shave 1 land if you're adding in a bunch of Mox Opals and then put in a 4th Mishra's Bauble, because it gets to smooth your deck out. It fuels Mox Opals, Metalcraft, things like that. I know Mox Opal is an expensive card and a lot of people aren't playing it right now for budgetary reasons. I don't know if that's the case for Maggie, but I would be interested in Mox Opal in this deck. I think that would help it be faster, more consistent, and just it would help you play into the late game better, because I always felt like I just needed more mana the entire time. That's really my feedback. I thought Spellskite was great. I'm just not so sure about these cards and then Thief of Existence. But the deck is solid. I liked it quite a bit. Thank you for the donation deck once again. And that's all I've got for today. So like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day, and as always, keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.